Hi there, everyone. It's Travis here from Surf Lifesaving Australia. Thanks for joining today for our Managing Patrols webinar. What we're going to go through today is managing your patrol teams and your patrols within Surfguard, and then also how your members can use the patrol swap function and checking their patrol roster in the members area as well. So again, thanks for joining. Just a quick one. So if you do need to contact our help desk, then all of the details are on our website at help.sls.com.au. And it's got there the office hours, how to contact support, and then also a list to all of our other training webinars as well. So this one specifically is on managing patrols within Surfguard and how your members can use it in the members area. There are other webinars that cover things like the operations app as well, if your state's using that. So I'll mention some of those other webinars where relevant as we go along. So if you need access to Surfguard, then please use the forms area on this website. You'll see the form 49 listed up here, and that will enable you to fill that out and send it back to us, and we can give you the access that you need to Surfguard. It's also worth mentioning that we've got a lot of user guides here as well for Surfguard. And most of these user guides are searchable, online searchable documents as well. So, so just keep that in mind if you do need any assistance. All right, and then let's get started. So thanks again, everyone, for joining today. So you'll notice that I'm using our test club, which is our Test New South Wales club. So some of the information within Surfguard that we go through today will relate just to New South Wales, but it is similar in other states, and I will mention that as we go. So the first thing we're going to touch on is managing our patrol teams. So I'm just going to go to Manage Patrol Teams, and you can see here we've got 3 test teams set up. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you how to create a team, add members to that team, and then assign a roster to that team as well. So let's add a patrol team, and we'll just call it Test Team D, and save that. So now that's been added to our teams list. Now we can add some members to it. So we can use the members option. We click on that and click on add team members. At this time of year, you may have quite a number of members who have not yet registered for the season. So in that case, we do have this option here that's called include non-financial members. So what this will do is, by default, the list will only show you people who are registered for the current season, which is the 19-20 season. So by ticking that, you can also get members who may not yet have registered. And then it's as simple as choosing the people that you need to and moving them over to the right-hand side into the relevant positions over here. So you can see that there's a number of different positions that I've got listed here. This is just in New South Wales. So in your state, it may be different. So just keep that in mind, but all the positions will be listed here that are relevant. We move the people across, and then we hit save. Now, it's worthwhile mentioning we do have a Q&A section in the webinar. It'll probably be at the bottom of your screen. So if any questions do pop up during the webinar, feel free to put them in there. You can see other people's Q&A questions, and you can upvote them if you're thinking the same thing. I will try and cover those as we go. However, if I can't, then we'll just leave it to the end and go through all the Q&A sections. So back to our team. So we've added our people to that team, and it gives you a preview first. So it's just worth mentioning that the team is not yet saved at this point in time. This is just a preview, and it will indicate here whether your members hold the relevant awards to be in that specific position. So you can see here no. So in this case, all the people I've added, they're all test people anyway, but they all do not hold the relevant awards to be in these positions. So you can go back now and edit that if you need to. It will let you continue. In some states, it may not, depending on if the state has enforced this or not. In this case, I'm going to continue anyway, just because this is a test. But what you're really looking for is for everyone here to have a green yes, which indicates that they do hold the correct awards. If you want to check for your state, then you can go to the details of patrolled positions and awards at the bottom here, this little link. And if you click on that, it'll actually give you a detailed information about which awards or award combinations are required to be in that specific position. So if you're not sure, then you can always check on this page, and that will be relevant to the state that you're in. So I'm just going to continue there. And now I have the opportunity to assign dates and times to my team. So I'm going to do that now. And then, so what it does is it defaults to the current season, which is the 1st of July through to the end of June next year. And what we'll do is you're probably not patrolling at the moment. So what you can do is you can actually filter this list down here by this date range at the top. So we'll just hit go, and then we can see the dates there on the left-hand side. So what we're going to do is just add a few of these dates over to the right-hand side. But first, what you can do is you can restrict it to just weekend days if you want to, which makes it a little bit easier. So I'm just going to spend a minute here just adding a few days over here. And then you specify the time here as well. So we might do a morning patrol. So we've got a few morning patrols here, and we add that across. And now that shows on the right-hand side. So you can continue to add more dates throughout the season to this roster. You might be doing some additional hours, so you might do a 9 to 1, etc. It's also worth noting if you are a club that patrols more than one beach, then you may have this option here. In that case, it's just worthwhile ensuring that the relevant beach is assigned to the relevant team as well. If you only patrol one beach, you won't even see this option at all. So we're just going to add that in there. And we can see our roster here. So it's worth noting if you have a patrol log book, then that's fine. You can use that. A lot of clubs are using the operations app now anyway, so all of this will go electronically into that anyway, but it is important to have it in Surfguard because that's where the app will get all its information from. If you are still using paper though, you can print the log from here. So you can print a blank log, and I'll just show you what that looks like. So if your patrol's coming up this weekend, you can use the print log option to print a log. It'll pre-fill with all the people in the team and their relevant position, and then also give you the stats page as well. So you could take this down to the beach if you wanted to and use this to fill out for your log. So now that we have some dates there, we've basically set up our patrol. So we've got our team, Team D, we've assigned a number of members to it, and we've assigned a roster. And then you would go through and do the same with all the other teams. So you can see a number of teams here that I've set up as well, and they've all got different members in, and they've also got a roster assigned to them as well. So you would go through and do this for all of your teams. And it's important to get this into Surfguard because, like I mentioned before, you can print off that log directly from Surfguard, but then it'll also use this information to pre-fill the operations app as well, and any other app that you guys might be using in your state. So what we'll do is we'll just continue. So if you are doing things manually, I'll just show you very quickly. Most clubs are probably using the operations app at the moment anyway, but I'll just show you very quickly how you enter the data into Surfguard manually. So even if you are using the operations app, there might be an instance where you have to do something manually, or you're doing a Christmas Day patrol or something which is not rostered, and you do have to enter stuff into Surfguard. So I'll just show you how to do that. So we go to patrol logs. And what you'll do is for the current month that defaults to, you'll see all of the patrol teams that are rostered on during that time, and you can create a log. If it is an unrostered patrol, like a Christmas Day patrol, for example, then you can just hit add unrostered patrol, this button here, and then that will give you a blank screen. But for the purpose of this, I'm just going to hit create log here. And then we fill the information out. So it pre-fills with the details of the people who are in that team. As you can see here, we've got a few people, and it puts their start and finish time to the start and finish time of that patrol. You can add additional people in if you want to using the member button, and it will indicate if the person doesn't hold the relevant awards to be in that position, but it will allow you to continue if that's something your state has allowed. So you can see here we've got a lot of options. So this person might have joined as a voluntary member to get some extra hours. We can also join another person in and select another option, etc. If you want to add a visitor from another club, then you can use the get visitor with update, and that will basically allow you to choose a, or just hit OK. So that'll allow you to choose someone from another club. So you do have to know what club they're coming from and some of their basic information, either their member ID or their name. And then this will allow you to find that member. And then what will happen is you'll go back to this screen and they'll be in here in this little box. And then you can use the visitor button to add them into the relevant position. Alternatively, if somebody was a substitute, then you can select that person, move them across into the substitute column using the member button, and then that will list them as a substitute for the original member. So I'm just going to continue there. And then we get to the stats page. So the stats page might look a little bit different depending on if you're using the club or lifeguard stats page, but all the information will be here for you to fill out based on your log. And one of the most important things here is just this little checkbox down the bottom. So if you keep this ticked and you hit update, what that will do is it'll actually close the log and you won't be able to make changes to it. So if you are entering things manually, just make sure when you get to this page just to untick that box. And then when you update that, it'll actually leave the log open. So you can see it's in a status of open. So that will remain open for another 21 days and allow you to make any additional changes if you need to. If you have closed it, that's fine. You can always request the log to be reopened. And then when you request the log to be reopened, I'll just show you how that works. And this is relevant even if you're using the operations app, because the data will go into Surfguard. If you do need to make any changes, then you can, if it is closed, then you can request it to be reopened. Put in a reason here, and then hit submit. And then that will go up to either your branch or state, and then they can reopen that patrol log for you, and you'll be able, and then you'll have a further 7 days to make whatever changes you need. So that's simply how to enter the data manually into the system. And that covers off essentially creating a team, adding members to the team, assigning a roster to that team as well, and then entering the details into Surfguard if you are doing things manually like that. What I'll do is I'll just touch on the members area side of things. So once you do have the roster set up, then your members will be able to log into the members area and see that information. So when they log into the members area, they can go to the patrol logs area, the patrol roster area, as you can see here. And in real time, all this information will come directly from Surfguard and show them specifically what their roster is for the current season. And they can see this information here. So you'll notice that there's a few little options here for needing a substitute. So there is a patrol swap functionality within the members area and as part of Surfguard, which I'm just going to go through now. So if you haven't used it, then yeah, certainly have a look, and I'll go through it now and show you how that works. So essentially, if I'm viewing my roster in the members area and I see a patrol there listed in my roster that I can't do, then what I can do is I can select this option for I need a substitute, which I'll just do now quickly. You can see I've already selected one here as well. It asks me if I want to request a substitute for this patrol. I'm going to hit OK. And now that's requesting a substitute. So what will happen now is that other members can log into the members area and actually see patrols that people are requesting a substitute for, and they can take those patrols, so they can become a substitute for that person. And I'll just show you how that works now. So we just go to the patrol swap area. And then what this will do is it'll list all of the patrols which you are requesting a substitute for. So you can see that here in this section here. And then it will also give me a list of all the patrols in which other people are requesting a substitute for. So I can see that information here. And then I can actually go in, and so I'm logged in as a test person at the moment. So I can log in and I can see that Travis is requesting a substitute for these two patrols, and I can actually do this one. I'm okay to do that. So I'll click on this, I can do this. and you're accepting the substitution request. And that now removes it from the list, and Travis will now be listed in his roster as doing that patrol. So it's within the club that you're a patrolling member in, and any clubs can use this function within the members area. So so now what will happen is, if I go to my patrol roster, then I can see that I'm substituting for Travis here in these two patrols. So I've selected that I can do them, and they're now showing in my roster as well. I do have the opportunity to undo this if I need to, and there's a number of time frames surrounding this, around when you can request a substitute, when you can undo, etc., which I'll go through now in Surfguard. So that's what the members see in the members area. In Surfguard, as the club captain or the patrol administrator in the club, you can maintain some of the settings around that. So what I'll do is I'll just show you the substitution management page. So what this page will do, I'm just going to select all patrols to display here. What this will do, this is a similar screen to the one in the members area. The one in the members area is all about that individual, whereas the one in Surfguard is about all your teams. So you can see here, we've got a list of all of our members and the days that they're rostered on for. And you can see when members are requesting a substitute. You can also see, if we go down to the bottom here, where a member has actually substituted for someone. So in this case, this is the one that we did before. And we can see here that that my test member has accepted that substitute and is listed here. So members can do it in the members area. You as the club patrol administrator can also do it. So if you've arranged a patrol swap outside of the members area via phone or text or whatever, then you can go in here and you can add a substitute directly to any of these, find the member and continue, and then that will put the substitute request in here. So the nice thing about doing it through Surfguard and the members area is that then that actually locks that information into the roster. And even if you're using the operations app, all that information will come through in the roster when your patrol starts. Or if you're printing your log straight from Surfguard, that information will also be there. It's also worth mentioning that the patrol captain will get an email as well, possibly a couple of days before the patrol starts, and that will also indicate who's on patrol and if any swaps have occurred. And I'll just show you how you manage or maintain the information around that. And so I'm just going to change it to another club, just so you can see what some of these default settings are. So this is most likely what the settings are for your club, and I'll just show you quickly. So these are some of the time periods that surround how some of the information is managed in this area. So for example, there's a time frame which allows you to decide how close to the patrol you want people to be able to select the I need a substitute option. In this case, the default is 48 hours. So basically 2 days before a patrol starts, then that's when the close occurs and people can no longer request a substitute. Prior to that, that's fine. And then they can also, there's also a number of other settings here. So for example, positions notified. So basically what will happen here is that if a substitution request does actually occur in the members area or in Surfguard, and in the case that it did for me, I accepted a patrol substitution, then the patrol captain of that patrol team would actually get emailed the details. There's also an automated email about upcoming patrols that happens 24 hours before the patrol starts. So if your patrol starts at 9 a.m. on Saturday, then at 9 a.m. on the Friday, the patrol captain here will be notified of everybody who's going to be in that team and if any patrol swaps have occurred, and also the contact details for the people in the team if they need to contact them. So it's worth mentioning, you guys can change any of this information if you need to. If you want the patrol captain and vice captain to get that email, you just simply hit edit and make the changes necessary here. And the same with all these other settings. If you want people to be able to ask for a substitute up to 24 hours before a patrol, you can simply go in here and change this to 24 or 72 if you want it to be 3 days. So you have control over this, and that will just govern how the whole process works at your club individually. What I'll do is I'll just show you quickly now how the maintenance area works for Surfguard in terms of deciding who actually shows in. Oh, hang on, we'll flick to our test club quickly. So who actually shows in the lists that you have when you're selecting your members? So for example, when I'm editing my team members here, there's a lot of people here. You may not want to see all active financial people. You may not want to see, say, your junior members, for example, because they won't be patrolling. So you can actually govern which members you see in this list based on the membership category that they're in. And to do that, you use the patrolling sub-membership categories option in the patrols menu. And you can see here a list of all the membership categories that are allowed to be shown in your patrol screens. So it's worth mentioning this is just for the patrols area, and all it is a filter within Surfguard, so that when you're adding members to patrols or patrol logs, etc., it's not cluttered with a whole bunch of people that you don't need showing there. So if you want to remove any of these, then you can just hit delete. And remember, it's just a filter. You're not deleting the membership category from the whole of Surfguard or anything like that. And we can just remove as many as we want or add additional ones if we need to. And then you know that when you're in Surfguard managing your patrol teams, that the only members that show in this list on the left-hand side are only the people in those relevant categories that you've selected. So that's just a little maintenance area which is specific to patrols. So what I'm going to cover now is we've set up our patrols, we've done the logs, we've set up the substitution. We've had a look at the substitution screen. We've also had a look at the substitution maintenance area where you can decide the time frames allowed for your patrol swaps. I'll just show you quickly how you can communicate to your patrol members once you've got your patrol team set up. So for this, we're going to go through in the email SMS members section, which is under messages. Now we do cover this in another webinar, which is the organizational management and messaging. So we go into this a little bit further in that. However, I do just want to show you quickly how you can filter it by the actual patrol team. So I'm going to select SMS here, and I'm going to select advanced search. So this opens up a whole bunch of different filters. And we can go down to the very bottom and check the filter by patrol teams field checkbox. So what this will allow you to do is select a patrol team, hit the display report, and then what will show is all the people who are in that team. So what you can do is you can send a message to those people. You have to tick the declaration, and then you can just select all of those people or the relevant people you need to and hit send SMS, and that will send an SMS to those people. So this could be if there's any issues about a patrol that's happening on the weekend, or just as a reminder that they are on patrol this weekend. So yeah, there's a number of different options. If your members are using the members area anyway, then they can check that information themselves. You'll notice in the patrol roster that there is a download calendar option. So members can go in, download a calendar straight to their phone, and then that will add that to their calendar phone, and then they'll be reminded anyway. John's just asked a quick question in the Q&A. So one person may perform several roles in a patrol. Do we need to be added to each role? Yeah, okay, cool. So they don't have to be, but they can be. So Surfguard will allow it, and I'll just show you how that works quickly. So if you're, say, a smaller club where you might have a member who's the patrol captain and the IRB driver, for example, or something along those lines, then Surfguard will actually allow that to occur. So what you can do is, so we've got our member up here. We'll add them as, so they're now a patrol captain and an IRB driver. And you can hit save and then continue. So what that will do is basically, Surfguard won't duplicate the hours or anything that they get. All it does is it indicates that they hold more than one position within the team. And that flows through into the operations app. If you're using that as well, you'll be able to see if somebody holds multiple positions. And when you fill out the patrol log, which I'll just show you very, very quickly here, then where are we? This was test team D. So we might have to look a little bit further. So yeah, you can filter this list by that date range there at the top as well. So we'll just have a look at patrol team D. So we might not be able to create that because it's in the future too much. But yeah, basically what will happen is we'll go down here and edit this log. And I'll just show you here. So you can actually add the same member in to multiple different positions. So let's say we're adding in Kerry Ladle. So Kerry's now listed in there twice, one as a ward member and one as SRC. And they may have even done extra hours as only one position, for example. So you could do that as well. And that's fine. Surfguard will accept that. We'll just update that. And basically what Surfguard will do when it's working out the members' total hours is it'll just work out the total hours they did in that given day without worrying about any overlap that they may have done. So basically in Kerry's case, in Kerry's case here, he would have done 12 to 4 and 12 to 5. So overall for that whole day, she did 5 hours. And that's how Surfguard will work it out. So there's not any duplication there. So we'll just save that. Yeah, so what I just wanted to touch on now was the, so I'll just finish off this area. So yeah, just remember email, SMS, and then filter by patrol teams, and then you can go and communicate with your with the people in your patrols. So what I wanted to go through now is just the reports area. So there's a number of patrol-related reports that you can run in Surfguard, and that's I'm just going to go through the general ones because they cover off most of the topics. And you can see that there's a patrol reports area. So we'll just click on that, and we'll go through a couple of patrol reports. So the patrol type hours one, which is the default one that shows when you open this area, is it's a good one if you just want to get a list of all the hours that a specific person's done. So for example, we'll just put our test member in there, and what we might do is we might just choose a date range just in order to get a bit more information into our report. I'm just going to extend it all the way back to July last year. So basically all I've done is I've just put in first name of my test person and then extended the date range back. So this will just give me a list of all the patrols that this member's done. So we'll display that report. And you can see here they've done 4 patrols during that time. And then you can see the details there. So in this case, where are we here? So this one was actually on the same day. Oh yeah, they're 2 separate patrols though. So you can get all of the details there of exactly what a person's done. What you can also do is you can remove the person from the report, and then you can also just get a list of all the patrols that everybody's done in your club, or all active members, or all members in a certain category, and this will give you everything. So you can see quite an extensive list there. Now that output was just on the screen. There's a couple of other outputs that you can choose from. So most of these reports will have an output to the screen and also an Excel format or CSV style format. So what this will allow you to do is download all of that information into an Excel spreadsheet, and then you can do what you need to with it. So that's just a dump of the data. At the top is where you click to download the CSV file. And then that will allow you to open that up, and then you can do what you need to with that file, with that data there. So you could sort it by date or whatever you needed to do there. We'll just close that. So we'll just go through and have a look at another report. So the patrol roster report. So again, most people will get this probably from the members area anyway. But if you do need to run a patrol roster report and say print it out and put it in the garage at the club or in a club window for your patrolling members to see, then you can certainly do that. One of the nice things about this report that it also has a PDF output as well. So you could do it for the current season, for say all patrol teams, and then if we display that report, then we get a list of all of the patrol teams, all the days that they're patrolling, and also the members' information of who's in the patrol team, and some basic contact information if you need to get in contact with them. So you can see that information there. And this will give you the details for all of the teams as well. And you can just print that straight out. The next report we're going to have a look at is the patrolled and/or unpatrolled stats report. So this will be for all of your stats that you record in the system throughout the season. It's worthwhile noting that for Victorian and Queensland clubs who use LIMSOC, it may be a little bit different. So it's worthwhile just contacting your state around the statistics part of things. So basically what you do here is we'll just put it out to the page again. It's a bit easier to see, and we'll go back. So we've got a little bit of data here and display that report. So basically that's going to give me all the patrol stats dating back to the 1st of July 2018 for this Test New South Wales club, and it'll show me everything. So I've got all my rescues there, some of the rescue statistics as well, attendance, first aids, preventions, etc., etc. If you just want specific sections, then what you can do is you can go down here. Let's say you just wanted rescues and water temperatures. You can hold down Control and select multiple options in these boxes here. So we've selected those two, and then you can hit Display Report and get that information there. So one of the things I did want to show you was, especially if you're, say, using the operations app and all your details are going into Surfguard in real time, especially with the patrol stats, is the ability to actually schedule these reports if you need to run. So what you can do is you can specify a report to run, say, each month. So let's say we just set it up for this month. And what we'll end up with is, so we've got a report running for this month, and we just want to see, say, all the patrol stats here, and then we can decide to send that to ourselves as an email, and we can actually make that a recurring thing on a monthly basis. So you can select monthly here, every 1 month or 2 months if that's what you prefer, and when you want that to actually start. So we might do that at the end of the month, so on the 1st of September, and hit Display Report. And one thing to note is that with most of the reports, it will just give you the same information each month. But with the patrol reports, you'll notice that there's a section here that says relative to today for recurring reports. So if your report is recurring, what this will do is every time it runs, it'll actually shift these dates you've specified here by the interval, so by 1 month. So without getting too complicated, basically what this report will do when we display the report is it'll run every month at the start of the next month, and it'll give us all the patrol stats for the previous month. And each time it runs, it'll shift the dates by a month. So if you wanted to automate something like this, you could do the same thing for patrol hours as well. If you wanted to check on people's hours on a regular basis, you can set up any of these reports. As long as they've got the relative to today for recurring reports, it'll shift those dates that you specify by any given period. And you can send it to as many people as you need to by just putting in a comma here and then entering additional email addresses as well. Just the last report that I wanted to show you quickly was the total member patrol hours report. So this will give you the total members hours, and I'll just give you an example, and then we can go through it. So this will be the patrol all the patrol members in the test club. So you can see their basic information here. It'll also identify if they've got a patrol hour exemption or not and what patrol team they're in. It'll tell you how many hours they're rostered on for the season, which is this column here. And then the all patrolled excluding penalty, that's their total hours. And that's made up of adding up all of these individual hours that they may have gotten over here in the total hours section. So basically it just adds up all their patrolled hours, makeup, substitute, volunteer, water safety, visitor hours that they may have done, and gives you a total at the end. Not rostered excused is not added to any total or deficit. It's just purely an indication of how many hours they may have been excused for during that season. And then you've got your penalty, trainee, and no-show hours over here. So that's quite an important report as well. You'll notice that there is an is proficient column here. So in order to use that, what you can actually do is you'll notice in the report that there is a section called awards. So when you're running this report, you can select an award or multiple awards if you hold down control. In this case, we're just going to select bronze medallion. And what that will actually do, as well as displaying all the information that we asked for in the total members patrol hour report, it'll also identify if those members are proficient in the given award that you selected. So in this case, we've got a few test people who, in this case, yes, they are proficient in the bronze medallion. So this report's quite a handy one if you want to get a basic idea of are they proficient in whatever awards they need and what patrol hours they actually may have. So that's the total member patrol hours report. And the only other one probably worth showing you guys is just the other patrolled and or unpatrolled stats report. So this is just a quick one. If you don't want to get a summary of all your stats for a given period and you just want to get a breakdown per day, what you can do is you can use these ones. Say, for example, the rescues one, and we'll run that for the whole season. And what that will actually do is it'll give us all the information we need about the rescues for the season, but it'll break it down by day so that we can actually see on any given day when rescues have actually occurred and some of that information about what time, etc. And just remember that it's not only rescues, so you can do preventions, first aids, and beach attendances and things as well. So that basically comes to a conclusion, all the topics that we're going to cover in the webinar. If anyone's got any questions, we can have a little bit of a Q&A now. All right, it doesn't look like it, which is great. So thank you very much for attending, everybody. I hope you got a lot out of this session. We will be recording these sessions and they will be made available on our help.sls.com.au website, as you can see here. So some of the sessions we've done previously are already available to watch. So as soon as they become available, we'll let you know. We'll send you an email, and then you'll be able to watch this session again and go through it if there was anything that you needed to do. So thanks again for attending, and have a great afternoon. Cheers.